I created a document about the whole WordPress drama, and I figured I should put it out there just so people can know what's going on. I think I'll probably make it a blog post, but I figured I'll also make a YouTube video about it and put some more opinion uh, in here. So I created this document called WP Drama Log, um, and I'm just gonna kind of read through what all I've done here, or what all that has happened. So basically, September 17th, Matt Mullenweg post a blog post basically that is talking about WP Engine, and what they're giving back, basically talking about the ecosystem. And then 3 days later, Matt Mullenweg is at WordCamp US, and he basically reads that article. He gets on stage at WordCamp US and reads that article, and I was just assuming it was going to be a normal the state of the word. That's what Matt normally does. That's what they call it, state of WordPress, basically. And I it took probably 5 or 6 minutes to realize what was happening, and I just realized, oh, it's a roast. Matt Mullenweg is going to roast WP Engine, and as you can see, this is my head right here. This is Gina's head and Justin's head. I had two other people, my chief leaders at Clockwork WP, which actually, Clockwork WP, that name is changing. We're not going to be WP anymore, which is actually somewhat related, or at least it normalizes why we're moving away from the name WP within my company. Um, so kind of interesting. But so Matt talks for about 18, 19 minutes or so. And I highly recommend. We're gonna have links to all of these things in the document. That's the thing. I started losing track of when did that happen, and I just figured, you know what, I need to write it all down. Um, so Matt talks for 18, 20 minutes, something like that, and then Q&A starts. And kudos, honestly, to those people that got up, and I took this picture here of the first person that was speaking, but I wasn't even coherent. I don't want to use the word coherent, but that's the word I'm going to use. I wasn't 100% sure what had happened. It really took me 2 days to process what all was happening, and what this WordCamp, or this talk was about. It really took me a while. And so anyway, I took a picture of the person. I just happened to be sitting right next to the microphone. Um, I was tempted to ask a question, but again, I didn't have my thoughts together, so I just said, I said, you know what? I'll let these people. I'll let them ask questions, because they had some good questions. Some of them were not relevant to what just happened, but I mean, overall, it was good. It clearly took the community off guard, caught us off guard, I guess. And then probably an hour later, maybe not even an hour, I walk from the conference room to the hotel, which is a 5 minute walk, and you see all of the WP Engine employees. You can't see all of them there. They're all huddled around like in a circle. There's probably 20-ish people there, maybe a little bit more. And I was just shocked that Matt was able to say all the things that he said, at WordCamp, because WordCamp is supposed to have a code of conduct, and I'm pretty sure Matt broke that conduct at WordCamp on stage. at least had to have made some people uncomfortable, specifically WP Engine employees. So let's see. So that is, what's the date on that? That's the 20th. All right. On the next day, Matt posts an article entitled "On WP Engine," and then he links to the article here, and I'm going to click on it here. So because I honestly don't remember what this one was. So okay, this is the one where Matt says WP Engine is not WordPress, and that's one of Matt's number one problems, is that people are saying that people think WP Engine is part of WordPress. And I can see that. That is Matt's, like, there's a valid point there. Matt's approach of handling all this, I totally disagree with. I'd love to have a conversation with Matt about it, though. That'd be fun. You know, anyway, so he posts this article, and this is what's kind of interesting. The I kind of think this is a trite and kind of stupid article, because what Matt is saying here is, oh, WP Engine isn't WordPress because they turn off revisions. And within the WP config file, you can turn all kinds of things on and off. There's probably 100 different settings you can do in the WP config file, and WordPress by default turns off revisions. There's a couple reasons to do that. One, that if you have, let's say you turn revisions on where you have 10 revisions, that means for every blog you have, you're going to have, and you make changes to it, you're going to keep up to 10 copies of it, which is cool. I'm a big fan of having 1 or 2 copies, right? But that, if you have 10, that makes the website slower. I mean, in the millisecond, range, or nanosecond range, but it's really small. But that doesn't mean because you have it turned off, it's no longer WordPress, and that's Matt's argument on that. And I can't see that. That's a stretch. September 25th, Matt Mullenweg posted an article entitled "Charitable Contributions," and you click on this. I don't understand this. Matt basically posts how much money he's donated. And this is September 25th. Apparently, he doesn't have his taxes turned in yet for 20. Oh no, he does. 2023. Okay, sorry. Good for him. I wish I could give this much money. That'd be. I wish I made this much money. That'd be awesome too. Nonetheless, I don't understand Matt's point here. He's basically, to me, this is a bragging thing. This is how much money I make. Hey, Lee and Heather of Silver Lake and WP Engine, why don't you post how much money you donate? That seems childish to me. Seems weird. All right. Same day, WP Engine was blocked from accessing WordPress.org, so they couldn't get updates. If you had a website on WP Engine and you went, I'm making an assumption here. I know they were blocked. I don't know exactly how it worked. My guess is that they took. We know WP Engine has a block of IP addresses that they use, or they have access to, that they own, or probably rent from their provider. Probably that's what happened, is WP Engine has that information posted, so you can say, hey, you need to whitelist all of these things so you can access it. So chances are someone at Automattic got that list and said, all right, if the request for an update on this plugin or this theme or WordPress core, and it comes from this IP address, that's a WP Engine address, block it. So that's super scary. All right. So that is the crux is, open source. At least up until a month ago, open source was free. You could take it and use it, do whatever you want with it. You don't have to give back. Matt now is saying that, oh, it's open source, now you have to give back. And if you don't give back, you're going to get blocked. from the services, which is so many different levels. It's a problem. Now, if there were steps taken letting them know publicly, like, hey, you're going to get blocked, you need to give back, things like that, then like I can see that. But they just blocked it, and then they unblocked it for a couple days. Someone apparently talked Matt into opening it up for 3 days. So basically they had 3 days to take the functionality of WordPress.org, at least for the updating thing, and basically duplicate that infrastructure and implement it for the 1.4 million websites that are on WP Engine. Kudos for them. Like, they did a good job getting that up and running. Just, it's fascinating that that they did that. Next day, September 26th, Matt Mullenweg posted a blog about WPE and trademarks. And this one is the one where it changes. Before, Matt was saying that WP Engine wasn't giving back. They weren't giving hours back. They were only putting in 40 hours a week, where Automattic, who owns WordPress, that makes a freaking killing off of the money they are making. They give back something like 3,900 hours a week, and it's like, of course you do. That's your primary job, is to make WordPress better so it grows and more people use it. Anyway, now Matt is saying that WP Engine is violating a trademark, and I kind of see, kind of like Al Capone. I don't know who used this. I think Theo or someone used the phrase of Al Capone never went to prison for murder and alcohol distribution and all of that. He went to jail for tax evasion, right? And I think that's what Matt is doing here. He can't get people legally on giving back. Like, you're not giving back enough, so therefore but because they're saying that WP Engine is breaking the trademark, and because of that they need all this money from WP Engine. So Matt kind of shifted, at least in writing here, from my perspective, on September 26th. Next, same day, Matt Mullenweg is on the prime time for 27 minutes, which is a interesting. This is basically the day after WP Engine cut off access Automattic cut off access to WP Engine. September 28th, WP Engine lifts the ban. Which is cool, and they have 3 days to get that the WordPress.org stuff duplicated, and there's an article about that here. The next day, September 29th, Matt Mullenweg is on Theo's blog. This one is actually really, prime time was good. It was just short. It was 27 minutes long. This one is 2 hours long, for 2 hours, and they give a huge they answer a lot of questions. Matt answers a lot of questions. I don't agree with all of it. I agree with some of his points. Again, I think Matt has a valid point, but his approach is scorched earth and not real kind. So October 2nd, WP Engine is on Twitter, and they post a blog post basically explaining the scorched earth approach, and they also link to the legal document, which I think is really handy to read. It's a 27, if I remember correctly, or 20. This is the 62 pager document. Worth looking through, because we have some good screenshots in here. It's it's a fascinating read, but we have basically Matt's conversation, um, which the way I kind of see what Matt was doing, basically telling them, if you don't give back, we're going to do the scorched earth approach. Um, that's extortion. I'm not a fan of extortion. I don't care who's doing it. Um, that doesn't make me real happy. Um, so the next day, Theo does another article about it, and I think this one's really good. This is one of my favorite things that I've seen on YouTube. The language is not kosher, so if your kids are around, you might not want to have that put some headphones in. Um, but I kind of agree with Theo on I think everything that Theo says. So interesting. All right, this is the part where I I get even more mad. So October 8th, DHH, David. Okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce his middle name. Heinemeyer. Yes, David Heinemeyer Hansen. So I can. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is because my last name is Ryman. So, um, you know, little Germanic name there. Um, but anyway, so DHH writes an article called "Automatic is doing open source dirty," and honestly, I really agree with them. You can't demand that you give back. Just because you're giving, just because you're using it, doesn't mean you have to give back. Open source, it's a two-way street. Um, you know, but you don't have to drive on both sides, right? You can only take and never give back, and that's just how open source works. Like for me, Linux, I've been using Linux since '95. Believe it or not, October of '90. Hey, I'm what 29 years of Linux, which is cool. I used to use it mostly for my servers, but it has been my desktop on and off. Right now, it's a Mac, obviously, but nonetheless, I've never given back to Linux. But I haven't had Linus Torvald, the author of Linux, calling me out at a meetup or in public saying, hey, Aaron, you've been using Fedora or Ubuntu, but you need to give me some money because the kernel. Hey, the kernel. So that's my problem. Um, this is where Matt got. Oh no, hold on. That's right here. Hold on. Okay, so DHH does that post. 4 days later, ACF does. ACF is taken over. So ACF is a plugin that has been used by many people. Like 2 million sites are using it, and I don't use it that often. We've normally have done custom post types in those 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 type not east well, I guess more options. Anyway, I haven't used ACF much. We use it now. We have some sites using it, and we're using it more, and we're using it a lot more in the headless world. To be honest, but it's a fine plugin, super popular. And Matt slash Automatic took over ACF without warning, without any reason. Now, Matt says it's because of a security hole in ACF, but I know for a fact that traditionally, I remember this was probably 5 or 6 years ago, where Yoast had a security hole, and Automatic patched it and published it and released it and fixed it without Yoast logic or their reasoning. I mean, without their permission, right? That is normally what happens. in the WordPress community. Oh crap, WordPress is not secure. Let's go patch it for that plugin author. In this case, after 10 plus whatever years of ACF, Matt decided that they wanted to take that over. And now there's SCF, secure copy or custom fields, and advanced custom fields. That crosses a line where open source stuff is now being hijacked. That's not cool. October 14th, Matt Mullenweg wrote a blog post entitled Response to DHH. Here's the problem, is that Matt wrote an article and then took it down. This is not good. This actually makes me super irate. He starts off basically saying that I'll just remind everyone at the start of this to be respectful, Okay, be respectful. DH claims to be an expert in open source, but his toxic personality and ability to scale teams means that although he has blah, 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 that's not very respectful. Matt goes through and slams all the projects that he's started. And Basecamp is a very popular software. Rails was super popular, and Matt just slams DHH in a such a immature way. Makes me nervous. Makes me super nervous. So I highly recommend reading the original post that I have here. I've got a link in it, and I'll put this link to this document. Actually, I'll make this a blog post and put it on aaronreiman.com. But I think everyone really needs to read Matt's original post. I know he retracted it, but these were Matt's original thoughts and his original idea of how to handle criticism from the open source community. Not good. The same day, Matt takes down the post. My guess is that Matt probably had someone talk to him and be like, Matt, scorched earth, not cool. I don't know. All right, that's the end as of now. I mean, today is the 25th, and Matt did post and say that he's going to not post any more legal stuff. What was this? Probably 5 or 6 days ago, which is good. It's really good. That's exactly what would be beneficial for the WordPress community at this point. Is just let's be cordial, be calm. Let's move forward. I honestly, I don't know enough about the legal aspect of this to put a prediction in, but I think it'd be hard to say that Automattic is going to win this one. I honestly think there's a chance that Automattic might lose the right to use the WordPress trademark. The way I understand it is trademarks, if you don't enforce them for years and years and years, or maybe 10 years, and then you try to enforce it all of a sudden, courts don't like that. So that's something that has to be enforced kind of day one. You can't let that slip. So I think there's a chance that Automattic loses the trademark. I think, honestly, I don't know if that would be, I think that would be good for the community. you would lose a ton of funding by Automattic, but we wouldn't have someone that has full control over Automattic and WordPress.org and WordPress.com and all of that. So we'll see how it goes. By the way, I could use some likes and some subscribes. If you guys could do that, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. All right, see y'all.